Bill Gates. Obviously, everyone knows this guy as the one who founded the biggest company in the world, Microsoft. But the thing about Bill Gates is he's not just a very smart entrepreneur, he's a very smart investor as well. You see, back in the year 2000, we had that massive tech bubble crash. Microsoft stock got crushed, it fell 60%. But Bill Gates, he was smart. He sold out of most of his Microsoft stock and he diversified his portfolio, protecting his net worth. You see, some people are saying we are in a similar situation today, like that 2000 market crash. They're saying we are in a bubble. So what I want to do with this video is see how Bill Gates is protecting himself today. What stocks does he own to prepare himself for his investment future? So the biggest portion by far of Bill Gates' portfolio is Berkshire Hathaway. Anyone who follows the stock market will know that Berkshire is the investing company founded and run by the great Warren Buffett. This makes up over half of Bill Gates' portfolio. Now, I just want to give some credit to another great investor, Michael Larson. He's the person who manages most of Bill Gates' fortune, and I assume most of these stock picks were his. But I have a feeling Berkshire may have been Gates' great idea, since Warren Buffett and himself are such great friends, and obviously he knows the genius behind Warren Buffett as well. So basically, what Berkshire do is they own a bunch of businesses and stocks. But they don't just own any businesses or any stocks, they own ones directly chosen by Warren Buffett. Because Warren Buffett is the head investor over at Berkshire Hathaway. So some examples of the quality businesses that they own outright, 100%, include the likes of Geico, See's Candy, Duracell, pretty big name companies that Warren Buffett owns fully. But then you look at the stocks that Berkshire has, it's just a big list of good quality companies. You've got the likes of Coca-Cola, great dividend stock. You've got Apple in there. You've got Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Delta, Southwest Airlines. It's a beautiful list of stocks that Berkshire Hathaway has a significant stake of. And Bill Gates, the thing is, he knows this. He knows how well diversified Berkshire is in good quality stocks. So this way, when he invests in Berkshire, straight away he becomes an owner in all of these good quality companies. Very smart move by Bill Gates. Having a significant chunk of your portfolio in the greatest investing company in the world, let's just say it's hard to go wrong. Again, I love this move by Bill Gates or Larson, whoever made this decision, to have a 10% chunk of the portfolio in waste management. It's a very smart move. Bill Gates owns 18.6 million shares in waste management, worth a total of $2.1 billion. Now, I'm going to tell you why it's such a smart move in a sec, but first let's get into what waste management actually is. So waste management is a provider of waste management environmental services. What does this mean? It means they provide transfer stations to collect waste, landfills to deposit the waste, and fun fact is they provide services to 21 million customers in the USA and Canada. Put simply, the company is based around managing waste to a ton of people. Now, why do I think this is a smart move for Bill Gates' portfolio? Well, a lot of people have been talking about a market crash coming up. Whether you think it will happen or not, waste management is not a bad stock to own in any market condition. Because you see, even if the stock market crashes, the economy crashes, people will still need their waste taken care of. Waste management will still be able to make money no matter what market condition. As you can see, their dividend of $2 per share is fairly reliable, and it's been increasing for over 15 years now because they have such a strong business model. And this is one way I prepare my own portfolio for a potential crash, by owning dividend stocks with strong business models and strong balance sheets. Canadian National Railway. Very interesting choice to have $1.58 billion of your portfolio in. It makes up 8% of the total portfolio, with 17.1 million shares owned in CNR stock. So this stock is Canada's largest railway in terms of both revenue and physical size of its railway network. It has 20.4 route miles of track going from Nova Scotia to British Columbia. But the question must now turn to, why does Bill Gates own the stock? 2 words: competitive advantage. Railroad companies are a business model that is ridiculously hard for competitors to come in and compete against, because you have to build up a whole system, a whole railroad network just to come in and compete. This makes the business model of CNR very safe. The money that they make is not likely to get eroded into in the future from other competitors. And this is why CNR has been increasing their dividend since 1995, and it's grown at a compound rate of 15% per year. And the dividend payout ratio is only 35%, so technically they can increase their dividends by a lot more. Okay, there's a certain pattern that you might be noticing when it comes to Bill Gates' portfolio, and you should continue to note this pattern as we go through Bill Gates' portfolio. The pattern is that Bill Gates loves dividend stocks, and Caterpillar is no different. It has been paying a dividend since 1933, and it's been raising its dividend for more than 20 years in a row. Caterpillar is obviously the company that manufactures and sells a whole bunch of machinery, from mining equipment to gas engines to locomotives. I'm sure you've seen the equipment somewhere. Caterpillar, it's also a global company with more than 50% of their sales coming from outside of North America. So their revenue is very well diversified, and it's generated around the world. Walmart, the largest brick and mortar retailer in the world. It makes up 6.5% of Gates' portfolio, and he has $1.28 billion in this stock. The stock gives him really nice exposure to the consumer defensive industry. You see, in a market crash, people are still going to need to eat. They're still going to need to shop at Walmart. And you know, the other great thing about Walmart is they're transitioning well into e-commerce. See, yes, they obviously are mainly known as the brick and mortar retailer store, but they're not dumb. Consumers want to be able to do things online these days. Walmart, they know this. They've built up a big online presence now, and they're actually the 4th largest online retailer in the US, as per this graph from Felix Richter. This is a typical Bill Gates stock. It's a global provider of water, hygiene, and energy. And it also provides services to food, energy, healthcare, and hospitality markets. Anyone who knows Bill Gates will know that, let's just say, he looks to do good in the world, and I'm not surprised he's an owner in this company. He owns $862 million worth of Ecolab stock, which appears to be doing good in the world. The internet, very important part of today's society. It's pretty hard to argue otherwise. Crown Castle is a company that helps provide this thing we call the internet across the USA and Puerto Rico. They have over 40,000 cell towers with 70,000 miles of fiber supporting small cells. Bill Gates, he owns $700 million worth of the stock. Now, the dividend that they pay is not bad at all. It's around $4.50 per share with a yield of 3.2%. But unlike most of Gates' dividend stocks, it doesn't have much of a dividend history. They only started paying one in early 2014. I personally prefer stocks that have a strong dividend history. And for all those a part of my portfolio group, they will know my stocks have consecutively increased their dividend payments for a good amount of years. You know, my stocks, they need certain requirements met before I choose to buy them. If you do want to join my portfolio group, the link to that is in the description below. and yes, it is mainly focused on dividends. Okay, so I've had to group these next two stocks together because they both are package delivery services. FedEx makes up 2.5% of the portfolio and UPS makes up 2.4% of the portfolio. Now, UPS, it does have a bit more market share than FedEx when it comes to the global market, 19.7% compared to 15% for FedEx. Also, UPS pays a higher dividend than FedEx as well. UPS has a yield of 3.18%, whereas FedEx has a yield of 1.75%. UPS has also raised its dividend consecutively for 9 years now, and FedEx has done it for more than 10 consecutive years. Very interesting companies to look at because, let's be honest, as time goes on, we're only going to need more packages delivered. Not Coca-Cola, but Coca-Cola FEMSA. Basically what this company does is it bottles the beverages. For those who know Coca-Cola, the company, they will know that they own hundreds of beverage brands around the world. What Coca-Cola FEMSA do is they bottle these beverages, which serves over 350 million total customers. The stock has a dividend yield of 2.9%, and accounts for 1% of Bill Gates' total portfolio. And those are the 10 stocks that make up pretty much all of Gates' portfolio. They do have some other very minute positions, but these, as I say, they're very small, and in total they only make up 1.7% of the portfolio. What you're going to notice when you look at the portfolio, you'll see that it's quite defensive focused. A lot of these businesses have big competitive advantages, strong business models, and generally they pay a nice dividend as well. This strategy employed by Bill Gates has made him the second richest man in the world. The portfolio tends to do well in most market conditions because at the end of the day, if you own strong businesses, you will do well over the long term.